So I've seen this dude pop up on the timeline before a couple of times, and he was espousing like rather, I would say, idiotic conservative positions about like trans people, about quote unquote woke culture, the general sort of like talking points that you would see from any other like right wing fucking content creator. But this is the first that I've seen this in a while from this particular subculture, an alt-right nationalist goth. So in so many words, more than likely some form of a fucking Nazi. Alt-right nationalists. In so many words, probably some flavor of neo-Nazi. If I were to take a guess. Some flavor around there. Maybe not necessarily. Maybe a white nationalist. Blah, 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 blah. You know, what? We've all seen the archetype. We've all seen it in so many words. And, man, this guy has been putting in some rather interesting sort of content. And I do have to say, this guy... but you know, I guess besides him trying to engage in, I guess, like, right-wing philosophy, I suppose, kind of like what the Golden One used to do back in the day, and a bunch of other like dipshits like Sargon of Akkad. This guy also did the quote-unquote goth reacts to goth stuff, similar to what Blair White did to trans woman reacts to trans stuff, quote-unquote, on differing sort of platforms. I'm getting a lot of the exact same sort of pick-me vibes that I have gotten from... Well, not have gotten. That is pretty much confirmed of fucking Blair White. I'm also sensing in this dude pretty much to a fucking T. But this guy has decided to debunk the alt-right pipeline. And I saw this, I'm just like, an alt-right dude who's a nationalist is debunking the alt-right pipeline. I instantaneously became curious when I saw this pop up on the feed and wanted to take a look for myself. Why don't we take a look? Also, like, this dude has been saying that goth is quote-unquote inherently, like, non-political. I think that was, like, one of his most popular videos, that goth is not political or something. Yeah, or was it here? I don't know, whatever. He says, like, also goth is apparently not fucking political for some fucking reason. Oh, yeah, it's right here. I'm really good at reading. Yeah, goth not being political. Do you know what the Satanic Panic is? Unfortunately, your existence is now inherently fucking political, but we've gotten sort of, like, the ridiculous Ouroboros of fascism, the snake constantly eating its own tail, has gotten to the, like... I don't know, like, nonsensical degree that now these people are, I don't know, being drawn towards, like, alt-right sort of, and, like, further right sort of, like, policy prescriptions. I don't know. I feel like this dude's probably just, like, suffering from a lot of brainworms, if I were to take a guess. But, you know, we'll take a look.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
More. It's the same.
Howdy.
Jake Munro show, high quality content that you've come to expect. The alt-right pipeline. What is this? You may have actually heard this before. The alt-right pipeline. You see a content creator, right? You see someone put out a video and...
Is this guy British? Okay, I've never heard this guy, like, actually talk before. I've seen, like some of the clips, right? I've never, like, actually, like... really listened all that much into this sort of like dude's like intonation and sort of speech. Is this guy like British or something, or is he doing like the is he doing like the same LARP shit that like Andy No would do with like a British accent, where he would like pretend to have like a British accent or something? Like, is this the fucking meme or something? Reminds me of Gothics, that one goth conservative grifter. Oh, I think I know who you're fucking talking about, Boy Meets Minnie. That name is so fucking familiar to me or something. Was she black? Boy Meets Minnie? That name, it's like it has a familiarity to me, a familiarity to me, right? Like I don't remember. I think she like would pretend to be like a goth or something, would have like no fucking idea what she was talking about. Yes, she was. Okay, I know exactly who you're talking about then. If I wonder whatever happened to Gothics, right? Probably just like fell out of favor of the right or something. I have no fucking idea. I mean, listen, we've talked about this before, but like a lot of these like content creators always just fucking come and go. Like it's, well, pretty fucking standard.
They're probably talking about something that's like red-pilled, or something that's more conservative, something that's contrary to the
British
rhetoric that seems to be going around at the moment. And in comes Septum Ring McFet with the alt-right pipeline grifter strikes again in regards to people finding their way to conservative or red-pilled values. This piqued my interest. Why is this so consistent? Why does the alt-right pipeline keep being brought up as a way to devalue or discredit what is being said by these content creators who are primarily focused on things like telling the truth? So I looked a little bit deeper into it.
Okay, so the reason why a lot of people generally have the branding of the alt-right, and why people say that a lot of alt-right content creators are generally speaking discredited, is because of Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer, broadly speaking, adopted the position of being alt-right, the new right, quote-unquote. Like a fun little plaything for these people to sort of like gallivant about, pretend to loud their sort of far-right positions that are consistently lies. The far right has to lie in order to justify its contradictory positions. You're not a truth teller. You're not a truth seeker. You don't tell truth. You don't like truth. People like yourself have never given a flying fuck about the quality of the truth, right? Nazis and alt-righters, far-righters, fascists, what have you, like all of these people, what they have to do in order to justify their inherently contradictory positions is to lie. Period. End of story. And that is why, generally speaking, when most people hear a person is an alt-righter or whatever, people are going to be more inherently like willing to completely discredit their positions, because it is a completely discredited movement. There's a reason why most people do not adopt the position of being quote-unquote alt-right anymore. And it's generally speaking just due to the fact that it is a nonsense position that doesn't really believe in anything. Like alt-righters, fascists do not fucking believe in anything whatsoever.
And what I found was actually quite interesting, because not only did I find out what the alt-right pipeline actually is, but I found out who made it. Yeah. Before we get into it, make sure you go and check out the brand new merch that has just dropped. We have the new Make Goth Great Again hats shown here. It's Make Goth Great Again 2.0. Comes pre-quality merch.
No free
check that
promo.
out. Link is down below. We've got the beanies too. We've got these really cool pins as well.
Okay, and I like listen, don't care, but no free promo. Shut the fuck up.
Demographic towards more conservative or red-pilled or right-wing ideologies and sensibilities and stuff like that. Things like Joji, whenever he was the pink guy, or the original idubbbz stuff, or Leafy, or in more modern times, people like Andrew Tate and Sneeko.
Okay, we're already having some problems here. No. idubbbz, Joji, or aka Filthy Frank, wasn't really alt-right red pill fucking content. Not really. The only reason why people, and I'm assuming similar to this fucking dipshit, the only reason why a lot of those people glammed onto Filthy Franks or Joji sort of content back during those days is simply for one reason and one reason only. Because they didn't understand the media that they were inherently engaging with. That is why. There's nothing inherently about what idubbbz made with his content cops or Kickstarter crap, or what Joji made with his, I guess, like, sort of, like, general, sort of, like, commentary videos where he would talk about certain subjects. First off, it was supposed to be, it's an inherent parody in of itself, where Filthy Frank makes it rather clear that he's playing a character, and that this is the exact opposite thing that you should be. It's like, literally in the first instance of ever like seeing his channel or seeing any like material from Filthy Frank's channel, he says that you should not be like me. If you are like me and you idolize me, you're doing it wrong. Like there's something fucking wrong with you. It's same with idubbbz. Idubbbz's whole, I suppose, shtick is the fact that he used to say a bunch of slurs, and then the alt-righters, like fascists, we're just like, oh my god, he says slurs. He's a white boy who says the N-word. Whoa, that's kind of epic, bros. And that's why people liked idubbbz. That's like literally it. When in reality, idubbbz has probably always held like, maybe not like left-leaning positions, or maybe like basic sort of like positions, but he himself has also admitted in his journey to try to sort of, I guess, better himself that, yeah, I used to be like a fucking asshole. I used to be cruel. I used to not really have any empathy, right? And that's what people on the right liked about idubbbz, liked about Joji. They basically, or rather Filthy Frank, different characters, of course. They just liked the fact that they would do the performative cruelty that they wanted to do and wanted to see more and more in the world, but without really having any understanding whatsoever, like why people like Filthy Frank or anything for views or Max Mofo would do all of the like ridiculous stunts that they would do consistently online, right? Like, a lot of people really just did not understand the point of content cops. Content cops are basically call-out posts. That's literally it. idubbbz is doing a call-out of a person's particular behavior. And all the... and listen, idubbbz did a lot of fucking shitty things during the content cops. Like, let's be honest here. Like, one of the most famous instances would obviously be the Tanamogo content cop, where he went to Tanamongo's like meetup or whatever, and he went up to her and just say N-word, and we all know the fucking famous moment, blah 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 blah. He ultimately apologized for that. He recognized what he did was wrong, and then he moved on from that, right? He used to be like just performatively cruel, and idubbbz sort of took that to heart and was just like, yeah, I was kind of an asshole. I think I went a little bit too far. I'm going to show growth as a human being, reflect on my actions, and talk about why that was probably kind of bad and make amends. And as far as I remember, Tana and idubbbz, I think they're on friendly terms with one another. You know, good for them. 2 claps. Who cares if like Tanamogo is like shitty for whatever interpersonal reasons? She probably is. I don't really particularly care about that all that much. It's mostly irrelevant to what we're probably going to be speaking about here. It's more so a not a recognition, but a basically these people, broadly speaking, do not understand why these people made the content that they did. They are not supposed to be idolized. They are not supposed to be remembered fondly. They're not supposed to be like epic, super based, red pilled, like I don't know, like dude who tells it like it is and doesn't give a fuck about anyone. That's not really the point of a lot of the content. When Joji or Filthy Frank himself said, like, you should not be like Filthy Frank. You should be the exact opposite of Filthy Frank. And Filthy Frank said that himself. idubbbz was just an asshole. And he admitted that he was just an asshole. Like, that's literally it.
Oh. And Fuentes, all these other very prolific, red-pilled, right-wing kind of guys that are guiding a specific demographic towards more conservative values. To be more aware of things in their environment, which is what Red Pill actually is. You know, it's to be aware, to wake up, to notice things around you in your environment, in society. It's described as leading young men to...
If I were to tell you that's not what the basic point, like, okay, like, so many problems with, like, the fucking Red Pill stuff. I believe even the Wachowski sisters, when they said that, talked about the Red Pill, it was not supposed to lead you to conservative ideology. Like, that's just a farce. But that's, again, like... conservatives not understanding media, because if they did understand media, they would not be conservatives.
To a quote-unquote extremist right-wing ideological stance in today's society. But we'll get to why. We'll get to why it's specifically young men that are susceptible to things like the alt-right pipeline. We'll get into that. Okay, we'll get there. Lonely, isolated, depressed young men. They are the greatest, almost the exclusive demographic to be affected by the alt-right pipeline. However, there is another side to this. There's another kind of man that was obviously influenced or has gone through the alt-right pipeline themselves, and that is male content creators who have had negative experiences with the left. You see, men, are not treated very well on that side of the fence. And for the most part, men who are on that side of the fence, you know, those whose support structures, networks, friendships, relationships, literally everything that their life is built upon, relies on them maintaining the peace with this matriarchal left-wing narcissism that they found themselves.
Okay. There's a lot wrong here. So, I mean, this guy's description said that he's like a alt-right nationalist goth who's quote-unquote fighting the fucking matriarchal society. Okay. How many white men are populated in the Republican Party? Which is the current party that's in power. If we were in a matriarchal society like this dumbass seems to think that we're in, wouldn't it be mostly women that are at the head of the Republican Party, the current party that's in power? And even in the Democratic Party? No, it's mostly older white men. So, matriarchal society? Yeah, okay, sure. And support structures for men? Have you ever been in alt-right fucking spaces? In incel sort of spaces? These people don't provide support to men at all. They neg on each other and tell them to do terrible acts to themselves all the fucking goddamn time. This is nonsensical. Like, what the fuck are you even saying right now? Like, you think that these spaces are positive for the men involved? Like, what are you fucking talking about? No, the fuck they are not. They are the exact opposite. These sort of spaces are incredibly toxic. They are a cancer for a lot of the men who associate with these fucking spaces. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, the only question is just like, okay, like, if you say it's positive, like, what exactly about it is positive? Like, what exactly? Like, the negging? The sort of, bullying that they do to each other all the fucking time? Like, have you been in these fucking spaces before? Do you know how these people act and fucking behave? You have no idea how these people fucking act and behave if you seemingly think that these are positive men sort of spaces, unless you want to talk about, like, I don't know, all the very weird, I guess, like, heavily homoerotic, like, men's camp things that you've seen videos before online, where it's just a bunch of men who, I don't know, hang out with each other at, like, a weekend at some fucking cabin in the middle of the mountains. I don't know, bro, that seems kind of gay. Like, that doesn't seem like a very, very, like, I don't know, like, is that, like, really, really man-friendly or something? Like, I have no idea. And, because here's the thing. The common through line with a lot of these people is that they just really fucking hate women. Like that's what it is. The common through line for as to why someone is, generally speaking, an alt-righter, quote-unquote, is because it's very Freudian, it's very fucking psychosexual. They have a lot of fucking sexual insecurities, and they have a lot of issues with their moms. That's, like, purely what it is, for as to why a lot of these guys fall down the alt-right pipeline. And also because of economic insecurities, economic fucking problems. But then again, there is a particular political party that are the main ones who are making that situation worse and are exacerbating that problem. It's the fucking right. It's the right who's doing that. It's not the left-wing woke matriarchs or whatever bumblefuck bullshit you want to fucking call them. It's not any of those guys. It's the white conservative Christians who have been making the current economy worse. Like, I don't know, like, saying this shit, because this came out about, like, 2 fucking weeks ago. This came out 2 weeks ago, and, you're basically saying, even with the stuff that's going on right now with, like, Iran, and Trump saying that there's going to be, we're going to have another, we're going to have another forever war, folks. Yeah, it's a really good point, Boy Meets Mini. This is very, very 2016. Like, this is... Like, this fucking video has been made a decade too late. This has been made a decade way too fucking goddamn late. It really is just like a capsule out of time, I suppose, for lack of a better term. And the current party that's in power right now, Jake, is the Republican Party. They are the ones who are currently holding the annals of power, and they're not making the material conditions much better for men whatsoever, unless it's men who are billionaires. Well, those guys are making a killing. They're having a great time right now with the current administration that's in power right now. But I don't know. I guess you're not going to have any criticisms for those guys for some reason. Wonder why.
Surrounded by. And they behave so well, man. Oh my God, do they try and play along as much as possible? Do they try and keep the peace? Do they try and make sure everyone's happy? But you're still a white man, okay? You're only gonna be able to do so much. At the end of the day, you are still going to have to take some shit on the chin. They're still gonna shit on you. I've had that before. You try and maintain the peace, but they're always gonna be trying to take little pieces of it, trying to make a point. You're just a punching bag to these women. But at one point, you wake up and you say, I've had enough of this shit.
I don't know, like, how many times this needs to be said? This is not a predominantly woman problem. Am I gonna have to just, I don't know, like, just come to the conclusion that I think this guy might just hate women? I think this guy might just hate women. I think so far the take of saying that this is seemingly very, very fucking Freudian, I think might be checking out a little bit. Yeah, this guy, whoa. Daho, you're telling me that a dude who, broadly speaking, identifies as an alt-right nationalist goth might be a bit of a misogynist? You know, it might shock you.
Get the f out of my house. I want my own damn life. I'm sick of hearing this shit. I'm sick of being treated like shit, despite everything I do for all of you. And then this is where you are then introduced to the alt-right. No, I am alt-right.
Okay. No, that's not how the main avenues of introduction to the alt-right. This is just historically speaking wrong. Like, completely, utterly wrong. The main form of introduction for the alt-right, if we're talking about in terms of 2016, and it's not because of the quote-unquote woke matriarchal structure that we find ourselves under. Again, the Republican Party is the main party that's in power right now, and most of the representatives of the Republican Party are white Christian men, so, again, some kind of matriarchy that we have there. You know, a lot of women there amongst the Republican fucking constituency. So no, so far we're completely off base here. The main sort of way in that a lot of young men got sucked into the alt-right pipeline was through Gamergate, through anti-woke content about video games. That was the primary sort of avenue. Not because of, like, woke feminists or whatever. I mean, woke feminists were the excuse that the alt-righters used in order to push their fucking propaganda. That was the excuse. That's how they justified it. But it wasn't because of, like, I don't know, quote-unquote, like, the left-wing matriarchal cuckolds or whatever the fuck. That's fucking ridiculous. That's really fucking stupid. It's got nothing to really do with them in particular, but more so just to do with the fact that material conditions are really bad. It's only getting worse. They were not taken care of, and so as a result, a lot of people like Steve Bannon and alongside Jeffrey Epstein basically decided that this is a moment that they could take advantage in order to push for further right-leaning fucking politics. That's what basically got this all rolling back during the times of Gamergate. That's what got the alt-right pipeline rolling, and Anita Sarkeesian ended up being the fucking scapegoat for that, right? She just was, you know, she made a video. We've gone over Anita Sarkeesian's videos. I think they've aged fine. I don't think they're terrible videos in particular. I think Anita Sarkeesian's videos are, I don't think there's really much of a problem with them whatsoever. They got out of the sort of orbit and sort of people that were meant to talk about her videos, and it got into the sort of general, broader, I suppose, zeitgeist of, I guess for like lack of a better term, individuals, that it was never, like, her videos were sort of never meant to sort of hit. And that's what basically started off the entirety of the alt-right pipeline. It all became anti-woke content. And we're basically trying to see a similar version of that again because of the failures of Woke 1.0 and the Democrats not really doing anything about that. And not providing, like, good counter-narratives whatsoever because they don't actually care either. It's not about, like, because we have seen a reemergence of these sort of, like, tactics and strategies of the alt-right pipeline. But in a different form, of course. where it's primarily sort of like hyper focused on quote unquote anti woke like game content, when most of the people who do these videos don't really play games and are not fucking critics whatsoever. I mean, it's very similar. It's a little different, but like the sort of main structure of how the pipeline works is more or less there, because it's always been there, basically. It wasn't because of like the quote-unquote woke matriarchy that, I don't know, Joe Biden put in place after 2020. That's fucking nonsensical. That is extremely fucking silly. And if you think that's the main reason for as to why there's been a resurgence of, I suppose, like the alt-right pipeline and alt-right sort of like ideologies and further right-leaning ideologies, then I don't think you really have much of a place to comment on really much of this stuff whatsoever, because I think you just have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, little bro.
That much is obvious. You've seen my bio. Trying to find it. I bet you can't find a singular definition. Yes, you know, there's a bunch of...
Okay, sure. Definition of alt-right. The definition of alt-right, which is a short form of alternative right. It is a far right-wing, ultra-nationalist, ultra-conservative, or very conservative, right-leaning political ideology that essentially sort of fetishizes ultranationalism, fetishizes maintenance of current systems of control and hierarchy that exist currently right now, and maybe not that granular, but basically it is a far-right, ultranationalist, very right-wing political ideology that essentially talks about having in-groups and out-groups in order to justify particular, like, nativist political policies. There you go, a definition.
Unsavory types in there, but there's also people in there who are right-wing or conservative or just more right-wing or on the right, but don't necessarily tickle the boxes of conventional right, have their own definition of what it means to be on the right. That's about where I am on that. Male content creators who have been canceled. Primarily.
I mean, that's not exactly true. I mean... Okay, he did the whole fucking meme where it's just like, the wokies just say that people are alt-right if they just, like, basically disagree with them. It's like, that's not exactly true. Alt-right has a very fucking specific definition. And I mean, if you talk with, like, I don't know, some other guy about, like, what alt-right means to them, it can mean different things to different people. One thing that is always consistent with far-right ideologies is that it is never consistent in terms of any of its definitions, because it's not really a fully fleshed out political ideology, because it is a nonsensical political ideology. That's kind of on purpose, but it's not... There is a definition, but it can vary based off of, like, I don't know, some other guy can have a different definition for it, just like some other guy can have another definition. I mean, it's the same thing with, like, left-leaning ideologies as well. Like, certain people who prescribe to differing, like, left-leaning ideologies can have differing definitions for what their particular ideology sort of stands for. I mean, it's similar with the alt-right as well.
Primarily for just standing their ground about something that they believe in. Chewed out, eaten alive by their leftist audience. Forced over the fence into the neighbor's yard. And there they begin to realize that they've been...
Wait, does Andrew Tate have a leftist audience? Do these average conservatives have, like, leftist audience? What the fuck are you talking about? Does, like, I don't know, who's, like, a quote-unquote conventional conservative? Like, does Ryan Macbeth have a lot of, like, I don't know, lefties in his audience or something? I don't fucking think so. I mean, who else was is a quote-unquote average sort of, like, conservative content creator? I mean, most of them are just, like, far-right fucking weirdos. There's not really any more, like, because the market for it is just, like, completely dead. There's not really, like, average sort of quote-unquote conservative content creators anymore. That genre of, I don't know, creator is more or less dead for a lot more of the further right-leaning fucking weirdos.
Screwed over their entire lives. And they start to bolster their confidence. They start to learn their self-worth. In fact, they start to help other men discover their own self-worth. And this is dangerous. This is really bad. This is dangerous. They don't want this. This is exactly what they don't want.
No. A lot of the... Because this is actually an accurate take, right? a lot of the pickup artistry, like manosphere content, is another gateway. Besides the okay, because eventually it became the pickup artistry stuff. Initially, it was Gamergate and quote unquote like all the games being extremely woke, when that was not the position of like most games companies and most games during the early 2010s. But you know, I digress. You know, Anita Sarkeesian was correct. She was right in her prescriptions. It eventually morphed into more pickup artistry stuff. But here's the thing with like all the pickup artistry stuff. Most of that stuff was not really successful, and it was just like basically an excuse for a lot of these, shall we say, grifters to just basically make a buck off of a bunch of really unsuspecting sort of men, pretty much. Maintenance of systems of hierarchy and control is completely part and parcel for right-leaning, well, people. Which is why I find it very funny that this guy is like a alt-right fucking goth, when, again, goth as a subculture, and, you know, I don't know if I know any fucking goths in my goddamn community or whatever, you know, you can comment below. A lot of it it's countercultural, right? Very much so countercultural, and is a byproduct of the satanic panic that came out of the fucking 90s, right? I don't know, like any like historian can fill my sort of potential gaps in my knowledge for this, but goth and like Satanism and all this fucking shit was also basically just an expression of a counterculture to the satanic panic. And a lot of the like conservative suburbanite moms who would like get up to Congress, or like, you know, have discourse about how Mortal Kombat is poisoning the children, the minds of fucking children, or whatever. They didn't do this with Doom, for example. Well, no, they did do it with Doom, even though you're killing demons in Doom. Like, that's where it mostly came out of. But I don't know. Does this guy know about the history of fucking Goth cultures or something? Like, I don't really fucking know. It's kind of silly.
So these are the two kinds of people that you find heading over into the alt-right pipeline. Lonely young men who finally found a voice that speaks for them on the internet, telling them they have value, that the way they've been treated by women is not fair. And then you've also got the content creators themselves. Their entire lives, their entire audience are comprised of leftist women, or just leftists in general, and they make content that's nonpartisan. They're forced to make a decision on a world event.
This is... No. What the fuck are you talking about? Wait, does this guy unironically believe that, like, left-leaning, like, these pickup artist dudes had a fucking goddamn, like, women leftist... What the fuck are you talking about? Like, hello? This is... If you think that that's like where a lot of these like pickup artistry, like manosphere types, that was the primary sort of like demographic that they were going after consistently, and that was why they were forced to make a decision. That's nonsensical. That's stupid. That's just completely fucking wrong.
They decide not to do that. Well, they have a contentious point that they want to make. The left are unable to disagree, and they are then thrown over the fence. Like this meme right here. This one. You see this one here? This kind of thing. And this right here should show you exactly who made the alt-right.
That's not even fucking true, dude. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, is this argument going to be that lefties made the alt-right pipeline? No, dude. The alt-right pipeline was unironically made by, like, Steve Bannon getting alongside fucking Jeffrey Epstein to push a bunch of memes in like lonely gamer forums and servers, and also fucking 4chan as well, in order to get a bunch of lonely fucking incel gamers basically in on a political movement, a far right political movement, in order to gain power for the fucking Republican Party. That's who basically created the alt-right pipeline. That's just a fucking fact. Is he really going to argue that, I don't know, like SJWs are the main guys who created the fucking alt-right pipeline? Okay, bro. Nice fucking meme.
Pipeline. Leftists did.
Yeah.
You see, if leftism wasn't this prickly, nasty, toxic environment of authoritarianism under a matriarchy...
Bro, you're alt-right, dude. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, leftism is the authoritarian ideology? The ideology that you prescribe to inherently is authoritarian. Like, you believe inherently in authoritarian fucking structures. Maintenance of systems of hierarchy and control, and you're gonna say that, actually, it's the left that does that. Jesus Christ, bro.
Patriarchal dictatorship, then there would be no need. There would be no construction of something like an alt-right pipeline. There would not be this necessity for an escape from it with so much to say against it, right? But the fact
okay, like, I mean, like, I'm just curious, like, what's an example of, like, a dictatorship that's been led by a matriarchy, right? Like who? Where's this, like, quote-unquote women-only society that has ever fucking existed? Like, do you think America is a women-only society or something? Like, I just literally said that the main party that is in power right now, that being the fucking Republican Party, is, well, vast majority of its representatives are white Christian males. Vast majority of them. So, like, to say that America is being led by a woke fucking matriarchy is just fucking silly and nonsensical. And even if we were to go back to fucking 2016, the time frame of this video, which it should honestly be in, even back then, that's just fucking nonsense. Men are still the main sort of people that were in power. I mean, no, Trump at this point would have been in fucking power in 2016. It was still fucking men. It's still white Christian men who are the main guys who are the leaders within the Republican Party. Like, I like this. It's just such a fucking fundamental, like, flaw that we're, I guess, dealing with here. Well, okay, maybe not, like, flaw. I think this dude's just suffering under a lot of fucking goddamn brainworms because, I don't know, man. I think it's just because this guy hates women. I don't know. Like, I'm almost just, like, wanting to just engage with this in this sort of, like, aspect of, I think this guy just really does not like women, and there's a lot of Freudian, like, this guy is leaving a lot on the table in terms of, I don't know, like, Freudian-esque interpretations for what he believes in.
Is that it is a nasty, toxic, prickly, reprehensible construct with these narcissists in positions of power that start to dictate, especially to men, how they should operate, what they should say.
And you're saying this, like, as being a part of the right? Okay, bro. Nice meme.
And why they should agree. And usually the why is because I told you so, and you're a man. And as a man, you are intrinsically bad, innately bad. There is no...
question. Have you ever engaged with, like, any other, like, leftist critique or, like, feminist literature whatsoever? That's, generally speaking, not really the fucking criticisms whatsoever. Is it just because of, like, Anita Sarkeesian or something? But Anita Sarkeesian had actual fucking arguments for why video game sort of culture is actually bad. It just got, like... well, purposefully misinterpreted by a bunch of fucking grifters in order for them to be able to, create a career for themselves on social media, or used by a fucking political ideology in order to, push for a surge, rather, in, like, general sort of, like, far-right, political gains? Yeah, political gains. Like, does this chat? Do you think this guy knows about any actual feminist critiques of the current of patriarchy? Does he know? Does he know, chat? I am personally of the opinion that I don't think he knows at all.
Repentance from this. You are merely here to be used when needed. Lonely young men affected by this male loneliness epidemic, they are susceptible to this.
Wait, I was about to say, well, hold on. Like, you don't think that's literally how the Republican Party fucking thinks? Like, yeah, like, Trump basically does not give a fuck about any of what his constituents have to say. Like, there's currently a new forever war in Iran, as has been listed by Trump in the current Trump administration or something. Like, the current administration that's in power right now, he wants a forever war in Iran. And he's saying, like, shut up and fucking comply with it. Like, what are you saying? Okay, bro.
To this alt-right pipeline. Because out of all of the groups that currently exist within civilized Western society, They are the most disenfranchised. They are the most shat on. It is mainstream. It is the only group that's not protected. White men, they're the only group that aren't protected. You can do daytime mainstream television shitting on men as much as you want. White men specifically. Exclusively white men only. You can do—
Wait, do you not, like, because they're the ones who have the most power. Like, yeah, white men are the only people who get shat on. Let's not pay attention to the fact that it's mostly white men who are in positions of power. But why do they always get shat on? I don't understand why this is the case.
do whatever you want. Your cartoons, your TV shows, your movies, your video games. It's in all the media. It's on social media. It's on Tumblr. It was on there. It's on Blue Sky. Everywhere. It's the most normalized
Not
group
Blue Sky.
that everybody gets to shit on day in, day out. And the only group who's expected—
Yeah, but that's because they have the most power. They are the ones in the most CEO positions. They are the ones who populate most of the of the current political party in power. Most Republicans are fucking the white men, dude. They are the ones who are in power. Yeah, like, I mean, like, do you know what a fucking like patriarchy is or something? The reason why it exists, it's not because it's a fucking quote-unquote lefty feminist buzzword. It's because men are the ones who are in power. That's just a fact. Period. End of story.
to take it because they are being taught that they are intrinsically evil and there's nothing they can do about it. What did you expect was going to happen?
What fucking feminist literature has ever said that men are quote-unquote intrinsically fucking evil? Like, we can make that argument for some misandrous types. Yeah, sure, like, but nobody fucking likes those guys. They're inherently fucking ridiculous and cringe, and people make fun of them on the left all the fucking time. Like, is this just gonna be, like, a dude who's constantly complaining about, like, a very, very loud, annoying minority of people, and just, I don't know, like, hyper-fixating on them in particular, or something? Like, I don't know, man, like, the only people who get, broadly speaking, fucking shat on in these spaces are just, like, weirdo right-wingers who people don't really generally fuck with to begin with.
With a group like this that is so mercilessly attacked as a mainstream thing, it's a mainstream concept to attack white men. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? Oh, the alt-right pipeline strikes again. You built it.
Again, I want to know, like, who exactly is attacking the, like, who is doing this? Who's doing this, right? Who in mainstream media is, broadly speaking, like, going on and just saying, kill all men, fuck white men, we hate all men, blah. Like, who is doing this? Like, I have no fucking idea what that means. Like, what do you mean? Who is accomplishing this? I have no fucking clue. I'm being honest here. Like, who is doing this? Who is this exactly for? Well, it's because, again, this dude is just doing the exact same thing that all these motherfuckers, broadly speaking, left to bitch, moan, and complain about. It's all fucking, like, annoying ass victimhood, like, grievance culture fucking bullshit, dude. Like, that's what it is. Yeah, you did that. Woe is me. Everything is so bad for us. I mean, it's just like, is it, dude? Like, white men, again, they're the ones who still hold the annals of power in, like, Congress and everything. They do. That's just a fucking fact. Period. End of story. Like, I don't know, like, if you want to, like, cope and seethe about it, that's, like, your fucking prerogative. But it's just true. White men are the ones who are currently running the fucking Republican Party. And, I don't know, like, you're just going to be upset about that? Like, it's like, what do you want then exactly? Like, you guys are the ones in power. And this is why I fucking hate people like this. Consistently, it's like, it doesn't matter if they're in power, if they have power, or whatever. They'll still find a way to just moan and cry and bitch and fucking complain, even though they are the ones who have all of the annals of the current fucking federal government. Like, it's not enough for these people. They'll just keep crying and moaning and bitching and complaining.
Left built it. They made it as a necessity. To escape them, it needed to be made. If they were as all-inclusive, as tolerant, and as understanding as they like to say they are,
the paradox of
the alt-right
intolerance
pipeline would not exist, and yet it does, abundantly. They built the entire pipeline with extensions and extra pipelines and more lanes added so that more men can leave. They're making their own enemies, their own opposition, because they're so reprehensible. And the only reason why
this is so fucking stupid. Like, again, I have to ask the question, what leftists were, like, in prominent positions of power during, like, the fucking Obama years, or, like, during 2016 or something, when this stuff was, like, really, really fucking popular and was gaining more in fucking popularity? Like, you have to ask yourself this question. It's like, well, Trump won in 2016. That means, like, the alt-right would have won, but it still fucking existed. Why is that? Maybe it's because it's not because of leftists who fucking created, but a permission structure that exists, making it such that, oh, a bunch of these, like, far-right, extremely big, eternally online weirdos are basically using it as an avenue in order to be able to get social media fucking clicks. Because that was what was the point of it inherently. That is how it was always inherently designed by Steve Bannon. Like, doy? Like, I don't know. Like, doy? Duh? Seems kind of obvious, but I don't know. I guess for Jake over here, nah. It's got to be too many, like, woke-tard, lip-tard, wokey, dumb fuck feminists or something. Like, it's just silly, dude.
Left hate it so much. The only reason why they're trying to devalue and dismiss anyone who decides to find themselves going through this pipeline, the reason why is because men with a sense of self-worth are the ultimate threat to their entire regime. The only thing standing between any of these leftists and total domination of Western civilization are white men. It's the only thing. You have to think, why were white men so merciless?
Again, I have to just keep mentioning this over and over and over again. Like what? Self-worth? Have you been in any of these spaces? I have been in these spaces. These guys fucking hate themselves. They hate the sort of environments that they're in. They make fun of each other. It's not very, I was going to say inclusive. It's not very conducive, rather, to being able to build a successful fucking political movement, because they all hate themselves and they hate the others that are around them constantly. Like, have you ever been in any of these, like, alt-right fucking forums? I've taken a peep into all of them, and they're fucking crazy. They're wild. They're insane. And it's all about a self-hatred of, well, not only themselves, but of everyone around them. Like that's the entirety of the point. It's just a fucking hate movement. Like, period, end of story. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, like, Boy Meets Minnie, ex-right-winger. I do not recommend men's spaces. Yeah, like, because from what I know, it's rough in there. And that's on purpose.
Mercilessly and exclusively attacked. Why just them? What was that about? Why did they do this? It's because we're the only threat to their superiority, to their success, to their victory. We're the only thing that could potentially stand in the way.
Okay, I find it really interesting. I have to comment on this real quick. Is that, like, notice how this guy is basically only putting this in a rather sort of hierarchical framing and lens. Why are you doing that? I thought you were supposed to be trying to critique left-leaning ideology, which is inherently anti-hierarchical and inherently anti-authoritarian. But you have to fucking turn yourself into a pretzel to justify, well, no, actually, in reality, these left-wing cucks are all about authoritarianism and hierarchy, when in reality, if you've ever been in any of these spaces, that's like the exact fucking opposite. Because, again, I would like to see, like, who exactly in, like, a left-leaning sort of environment pushes for, like, patriarchal norms, the maintenance of fucking hierarchy and systems of fucking control that we currently exist under. Like, none of them. Very, very few of them. But then again, it's because this guy's definition of what a left-winger is like some, like, strange 4chan fucking amalgamation that's been, I don't know, created by those very, very strange schizophrenics. It's just very, very strange.
A confident, strong man, a masculine, strong man, an assertive man, telling women to shut the fuck up, a metaphorical bitch slap, sit the fuck down. That was the only thing to get in the way. They don't really think that men are the worst. I mean, they probably do now. They start to believe their own bullshit, smell their own farts. They wanted us to believe.
I don't know, man. I feel like you might be the type of dude who might be smelling his own fucking farts. I'm just saying.
This because with us out of the way, they were then allowed to do whatever the hell they wanted, and they did, and they have been, and we
like, again, like, who exactly, like, who's been, like, Like, who exactly has been in the way for you or something? Like, I don't understand. Like, who? Like, which left-wingers? Who has been doing this? Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, I still don't really understand what this dude is fucking talking about. It's like, this is fucking insane. Like, what do we do? What are we even saying here?
Let them. This is why. This is why there is this alt-right pipeline, because they made it, and this is why they're trying so hard to devalue it and dismiss it and shame it. Because ultimately that means more men.
Well, I'm also curious, who's really talking about the alt-right pipeline nowadays? I don't think anyone gives a flying fuck. It's kind of seen as like a term of a past, like, era. Like, nobody gives a fuck about the alt-right pipeline anymore. Like, no one fucking thinks about that shit. Like, let's be honest here. Who the fuck thinks about the alt-right pipeline? Like, it's just, like, again, like, it's just strange. Like, we really are just in, like, a fucking time capsule engaging with a fucking video that's been, like, I don't know, like, made 17 trillion times in the past before, but is now, like, in an environment where it's just, like, it's nonsensical. It just doesn't exist anymore. We're talking about a structure that's just not there. Like, I don't understand. Where is exactly the sort of, like, alt-right pipeline? What are the leftists that are currently pushing all of these young men into these further, like, right-leaning ideologies? Like, who is doing this?
Governing their self-worth. The more men do this, the more they tell leftists, especially leftist women, to shut the fuck up, get in the way of their domination, of them owning and controlling everything. And do you know what women do whenever they control? And
I don't know, man. Who decided to overturn Roe v. Wade? Oh, that was the Republicans, and those are the I don't know, like the alt-righters that you're trying to defend or something. Who are the ones who are basically trying to send off a bunch of young men to go out and die in a foreign war out in the Middle East again? Oh, it's a bunch of far-right people in positions of power. Like, again, this shit's fucking silly, dude. Like, what do you mean? The current people who are in power are again the Republican Party, and they are affirmatively, like, alt-right party by any sort of definition of the fucking word. Like, it just, like, do the people broadly speaking understand, like, where my confusion is coming from here? Like, it's like, who is this exactly for? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, who is this supposed to appeal to? Like, we're making, like, a time capsule of a video here of, I don't know, like, woke feminists going after men. I just have to say, like, who exactly is fucking doing that? Like, are there instances of, like, really annoying, like, screechy woke scolds? Sure, yeah, but, like, I'm gonna be quite honest. I have not been seeing much of the screechy, very annoying fucking woke scolds. Like, has anyone been seeing, like, I don't know, a resurgence, like, just, like, a huge amount of, like, cancel woke scoldy sort of mobs? Like, maybe as, like, a joke, as, like, a bit of a meme or something, because it's just, like, remember, like, cancel culture and all that shit? Yeah, that shit was kind of funny, blah, 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 blah. And it's, like, a funny little oddity of, like, a time past, but, like, no one's fucking doing that shit anymore. That's just not happening. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I have no idea what this guy's fucking talking about. Like, where exactly are we going? Yeah, we're in the era of the Chud to Ice pipeline. I don't give a fuck about the alt-right. Yeah, the alt-right basically, like, died forever ago. Like, it's very stupid. 5 libs on Blue Sky doing it. And that's probably what it is in reality. This dude probably saw, like Shoe on Head, like three random 3-follower fucking accounts being, like, stupidly annoying and woke scoldy for no fucking goddamn reason, and just decided to graft that all onto the left, which is what Shoe on Head does exactly in all of her fucking content output. Looks at, like, instances of, like, 3-follower accounts that are correctly criticizing people like Shoe on Head for their dog shit fucking takes. And trust me, I can guarantee you, if this guy's like an alt-right nationalist goth, he definitely has a bunch of shitty fucking goddamn takes. That's a guarantee. it makes it such that it's just like, okay, so then, like, what exactly are you, like, bitching, moaning, and crying and complaining about? Like, people fucking criticizing you? It's like, welcome to America, bitch. It's called free speech. People are allowed to fucking criticize your dog shit takes. If you didn't want to have your dog shit takes to be heard or listened to, then damn, I guess you shouldn't have fucking posted on an online forum where you can easily fucking get criticized for them. Like, I don't know, sucks to suck. Like, honestly, like, sucks to fucking suck. Like, because again, I have to keep asking this exact same question: who is this for? Why are you fucking saying this shit? Like, this is, again, like, a video that's been done, redone, remade, redone again, like 70 fucking different times, and every single time that it gets fucking made, it just comes out looking more and more ridiculous each time, because it's like, dog, what are you talking about? Nobody fucking does that anymore. The things that you're fucking complaining about, it just doesn't exist anymore. Like, what are you saying?
Own everything. I mean, this Spanish girl actually managed to explain it pretty well.
Ojalá, teoría del reemplazo. Ojalá podamos barrer de fachas y de racistas este país con gente migrante, con gente.
So, what, did this person say replacement theory? Wait, I'm a little curious.
Ojalá podamos barrer.
If they control and own everything. I mean, this Spanish girl actually managed to explain it pretty well.
Ojalá, teoría del reemplazo. Ojalá podamos barrer
Replacement theory, yeah.
racistas este país.
Well, that's what it is, right? Like, it's all great replacement theory stuff. That's what it is. It's great replacement fucking theory. It's all the exact same, like, conspiratorial dreck and nonsense that, again, Steve Bannon helped to fucking create in order to be able to get power for the fucking right wing within America. That's, like, literally what it is.
Con gente migrante, con gente trabajadora. Claro que yo quiero que haya reemplazo.
There it is, fellas. There's critical mass. There's the end of the road. We were shamed so hard to sit down, shut up, and think about what we've done. While they went ahead and spiraled out of control, and then, not in their moment of not knowing what the hell to do with themselves, literally just threw everything away and screamed about it while they were doing it. Now,
I still have no idea who the they is supposed to be in this particular. I still have no idea what that means.
Pipeline, real quick, because we know about the alt-right pipeline, don't we? This is a thing that we're familiar with. I've talked about it the last who knows how long. What about the alt-left pipeline? What's that for? I'll tell you who it's for.
What fucking alt-left pipeline? Like, alt-left pipeline? What the fuck is an alt-left pipeline? Jesus fucking Christ. There was a very good video that I looked over about this before, like a very, very long time ago, talking about a quote-unquote alt-left pipeline, and is it something that actually exists? A newsflash, no, it really does not fucking exist. There is no quote-unquote alt-left pipeline. Yeah, you know, we're gonna get the, I don't know, the they posting, you know, quote-unquote. I mean, this guy, like, just played someone doing, like, great replacement theory rhetoric, so yeah, we know exactly where this is going. Like, it's all the same, like, conspiratorial dreck that these people, broadly speaking, believe in. It's all the same, like, fucking anti-Semitic fucking dreck consistently. Like, that's what it actually is in reality, because Steve Bannon, right? Very, very important figure. If we want to talk about a actual progenitor of a potential, like, alt-right pipeline, quote-unquote, you have to fucking mention him, because he was the one who basically more or less created the ideology that more or less shapes the alt-right pipeline. It was him, right? If we want to talk about an alt-right pipeline, you have to mention Steve Bannon in particular. In terms of what the beliefs and structures that the alt-right pipeline generally believes in, it's going to be systems of maintaining a particular hierarchical structure. It is about being very nativist, fascist. It is inherently full of shit. It's a lie for the most part. Well, not for the most part, for the entirety of it. It is very populist, right? Or pretends to be populist for the express purpose of being able to, I guess for like lack of a better term, bring people into the sort of system. And what else can we say about the quote-unquote alt-right fucking pipeline, or alt-right ideologies in general? I mean, that's, like, mostly what it is. Like, it's, I don't know, it's not because of, like, quote-unquote, like, fucking leftists who screeched at men too much. Like, that's just a fucking excuse to bring people in, to make it look more palatable to people. Like, that's basically the point. And I don't know, this guy's, like, trying to do that exact same shit, hook, line, and fucking sinker. Oh yeah, and it all inevitably leads to the exact same, like, ridiculous conspiracism that these people actually believe in, and that's, like, the very far-right, like, ridiculous, like, nativist policies of, like, the Great Replacement Theory and all this, like, well, the fucking nonsense.
Yeah, for children, actually. It's for those who want to groom children. As well as, you know, narcissists. They're also pretty attracted to the alt-left.
Wait, what? Wait, this guy is trying to say child groomers are the part of the alt-left pipeline? Jesus fucking Christ. Buddy, you might want to take a look at, like, Trump's fucking faith advisor, who unironically went to jail for just 6 months for abusing a fucking 14-year-old. And you want to say it's fucking lefties who are the main people who are creating, who basically helped to create the fucking alt-right pipeline, and are going to be, and the main people who are part of the fucking alt-left pipeline are, like, fucking child groomers and fucking pedophiles. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, that's fucking nonsense, dude.
Left pipeline. But groomers also really love this alt-left pipeline. You want to talk about something nefarious? You want to talk about something that's despicable beyond all understanding? The alt-left pipeline attracts groomers of minors. You don't believe me? Shall I run through some examples?
Okay.
Because I have some. Pride parading. Butt naked.
That's not a fucking example. A pride parade is an example of child grooming. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Oh, man. Also, by the way, those are advertised as inherently being fucking 18 plus. Those particular pride parades where people are going to be naked and celebrating fucking kink. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's just a thing that's not happening. Like, what average pride parade? Like, okay, you know what? Just for you, Jake, let me get some fucking photos of an average pride parade. Let me help you. Here, for example, Ottawa Pride Parade, right? Oh, there's some dudes with their shirt off. Does that mean they're fucking butt naked? I don't think so. Mostly dudes with a bunch of flags and stuff. Oh, by the way, this is the one that specifically Justin Trudeau went to. I don't know. Why don't we go to, like, New York Pride Parade, right? Just like the normal, like, New York City Pride Parade. I don't know. I'm not seeing a lot of images of, like, naked people on fucking Google Images. I'm not seeing, like, naked shit everywhere. Yeah, that's a good point there, Boy Meets Mini. Like, you're gonna say, like, fucking pride parades are dens of fucking child grooming or something, but you're not gonna talk about, like, child beauty pageants. You're not gonna talk about the modeling industry, which, unironically, like, Donald Trump, Leslie Wexner, and a bunch of other, like, weirdos who are in the fucking Epstein files helped to administer. Like, you're not gonna mention any of that stuff, and you're gonna talk about, like, child grooming that's prominent in fucking pride parades. Like, it's fucking nonsense. Like, what are you fucking talking about, bro? Christian conservative parents push their daughters into OnlyFans these days. I'm not joking. Yeah, because, again, like, conservatism, and I've mentioned this before, I'll mention it again, conservatives do not believe that children are actual humans. They see them as things, as simulacra, as homunculi, to have thoughts, feelings, and sort of beliefs imprinted upon them. That's what conservatives believe in. Not any of this, like, well, honestly, for lack of a better term, absolute fucking gobbledygook about pride parades being dens of fucking child pornography and, like, fucking pedophilia or whatever. Like, this is, like, this, like, it's completely fucking silly. Like, the idea that it's primarily speaking leftists in fucking pride parades or whatever the fuck are the main avenues of, I don't know, like, child grooming, and we're not gonna, like, mention any of the fucking conservatives. It's just nonsense. It's fucking silly.
In public. in front of children. That's not a right-wing thing to do. That's not an alt-right thing to do. That's exclusively left. Not almost. That's exclusively leftist.
Okay, hold on. You know what? Can we get all the instances of far-righters who have done grooming of fucking children? Because I guarantee you, it's like this is just completely fucking nonsensical. Like, you're just fucking lying here. The people who do predation on children tend to be, well, from the fucking home. So mostly fathers, and also from the fucking church. The church, a very well-known sort of like left-leaning sort of institution. Like what are you fucking talking about? Like, listen here, Jake. If you care so much about, like, I don't know, like, quote unquote child groomers being a part of the alt-left pipeline, I guess for lack of better term, here are all these like church pastors. Senior fucking pastors. Here's one in fucking Tennessee, pleading guilty to collecting CSAM. Here's another one, a Long Island pastor, pleads guilty to exploitation of a child. Here's another one in Indiana who also exploited another fucking kid. I don't know. Here, another one, Joe Campbell, who also did, CSA. And by the way, all of these were like just a Google search away. I just typed in pastor CSA scandal, and I found like all of these different articles. But here's the main kicker: former Texas megachurch pastor Robert Morris pleads guilty to CSA charges. And guess what? This guy was a former faith advisor to the Trump administration. So, like, you want to talk about how there are all these, like, quote-unquote, child abusers within the left or whatever. You want to say that that's the fucking case, when in reality it turns out to be mostly a bunch of, like, conservative weirdos. Like what are you talking about? It's nonsense. Like, you're just saying a bunch of fucking dreck. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
That's their thing. The sort of leather dog masks, the G-string, the cycling butt naked. We've seen this before. We've got examples of this. Cross-dressing drag queens reading and performing to children. Who was the only people who had problems with this? That's right. The right. And if you actually...
Like, yeah, dude, because, like, drag queens definitely showed up in the Epstein files. Like, again, what the hell are you talking about? This is a thing that definitely happened very, very often. This is nonsense. Like, none of these people, broadly speaking, have done any of the abuses that you're talking about. But you want to know who have done all of these abuses? Oh, mega church pastors. All these fucking pastors are part of the church, because guess what? That's one of the places where they are more likely to be abused. Children, that is. And that is also by their fathers or, like, say, an uncle at the home. If we want to talk about where children are more likely to be abused, it's first at the home and second at the church. And guess what? Most of those are quote-unquote, I guess, like, bastions of conservative sort of, thought and institutions.
Actually spoke up against this stuff, if you said, maybe we shouldn't be having drag queens performing and reading for children.
That's true, Alex.
The left would see you as a Nazi or a right-winger or an alt-right, because it was a very leftist thing to want this to happen.
Again, like, I have not seen any instances of any child getting abused by a drag queen. Can you provide any evidence to any of these? Because here's the thing: this guy has just been this video has just been making a bunch of claims and providing no evidence for any of those claims. Like, he's just been saying stuff. Like, I can just say a bunch of stuff as well, right? I can say that you were probably in the Epstein files, Jake. Do I have any evidence for that? No, I don't have any evidence for that. But I can just say that, right? You're just saying a bunch of shit. This entire video, as I probably should have predicted, is just a guy saying a bunch of stuff and providing zero evidence for any of his claims.
There's more examples. Children also performing in drag. Schools being infested with leftist teachers.
What child has been performing in drag? Like, what? Who's done that? Like, what? Where? And also teachers? Now, here's the thing about that specifically. Here's something where I could potentially agree with what Jake Munro is saying here. This could actually be a good point, right? There are instances of quote-unquote very hot, attractive teachers, I don't know, shaboinging their, like, 12-year-old students. Do you want to know who are most of the people that hop into the comment sections on Twitter and say, like, "Aw, man, where was that girl when I was fucking growing up?" Conservatives! It's conservatives who are mostly doing that. And a lot of those articles do not call it out for what it is, and that's CSA or abuse of children. And that's a fucking problem, right? There can actually be an argument there, but this guy is probably going to talk about, like, I don't know, quote unquote, like, left wing, blue haired teachers or some shit. And actually, you know what? Let me get an example. So here, some examples of some teachers that have, something that could actually pertain to your argument, I guess. But you're going to say it's like, quote-unquote, left-wing SJW cuck teachers or whatever the fuck, if I were to make a bet. I don't know. This is a more recent example in January of 2025, right? Of a woman, a 34-year-old, getting pregnant by her 13-year-old student. Insane. Genuinely fucking insane. Female teacher accused of a sexually abusing student at an all-girls Catholic school. Catholic school. That's a little fucking interesting. And here, 2 teachers at a private Christian school in Georgia were arrested for abusing the same student. That's a little fucking interesting. Yeah, here's the, I don't know. Like, and I guarantee you, if there was a bunch of people who are just like, oh, again, a bunch of them are just going to be like, yeah, this is bad. And it is bad. This is period, end of story, really, really bad. But there's also a bunch of people in there that are saying, like, yeah, where was she when I was fucking growing up? Which is genuinely fucking insane. And again, so far the main through line with these examples that I just found in about 30 seconds, private Christian school, all-girls Catholic school, and it was women who mostly did this. I haven't taken a look into this case exactly here, but this female teacher was, pregnant by her fucking 13-year-old student when she was sexually abusing him at the age of 11. I'm trying to see, like, the through line. Like, are most of these teachers, like, I don't know, left-wing SJW cucks? I don't really think so.
Activists using their influence and power to groom teachers. Leftist activists using their influence and power.
No, he just says teachers. He doesn't specify, like, left-wing, like, left-leaning SJW cuck teachers or whatever the fuck. It's very silly, dude.
To groom and violate children. Blue Sky immediately being overrun with underage sexual content. Minor attracted people. In which camp do you think the term minor attracted people? Which camp do you think that came from? Was it the alt-right camp? Was it right-wingers? Was it conservatives?
Yes. Minor attracted people, that was a psyop basically started by 4chan. 4chan, Jake, for you who may not know, for whatever reason, or is not going to be honest about that, is, populated with fucking right-wingers mostly. Poll, all right-wingers. By Jeffrey Epstein, of course. Very, very cool. And working with Moot on that one in particular. Fantastic. Excellent. And also, it was eventually a term that was used in order to try to... The argument is basically to destigmatize the term pedophile for whatever reason, and it's been used by certain academics. It's not very, very widespread or used whatsoever, but the argument is to try to make it such that these people go in order to be able to get therapy, because if you actually care about stopping, well, CSA, that being, well, abuse of children, then you want them to go to therapy. Period, end of story. If you actually care about the issue, right? You would want them to go into therapy. And the argument, broadly speaking, is, and I don't really... I ultimately question how exactly effective it would be. I would, I don't know, say, like, I don't think it's exactly effective because, again, the term minor attracted person, that was shit that was made up by 4chan. It was a 4chan psyop because it's a thing that 4chan does all the fucking time. They make psyops and make left-wingers who think that they have, or think that they're acting like in good faith, trying to fix a particular problem, in order to try to, make them fall for a particular psychological operation, so then 4chan can just make fun of them and have a bunch of articles written about them in order to fucking harass people. Like, that's the point of this. It's a lot of it is psychological operations, and maps is one of those fucking psychological operations. Now, the overall argument can be, make it an ad to destigmatize a lot of the hostility that people rightfully have of pedophiles, in order to have them go in to get therapy. That's the basic gist of it, right? It's just one of those things where it's like, given what's going on right now with Donald Trump and the Epstein files, not exactly the sort of like best argument that you can make in order to have these people go in for, therapy, so then they stop abusing children. I do generally agree that if you want to reduce the abuse of children, sexually speaking, of course, you want to have these people go in and get fucking therapy. Abso-fucking-lutely. Go in, get some therapy, I don't know, fix whatever's like fucked up in your brain that makes you attracted to minors, right? For sure, not a fucking problem. The whole map shit, I don't really agree with how that's sort of like an approach to be able to solve that problem, especially because it was a psyop made up by 4chan.
Where do you think maps came from, and where did they try to find safety? Where did maps try to establish an identity within? It was the left. The alt-right...
I don't know, I like, given the fact that it's mostly Trump who's been listening to the fucking Epstein files, I don't think any of those, like, weirdos, generally speaking, are in, I don't know, like, amongst the left. I'm not gonna lie. Like, again, a lot of claims are being made here. No evidence is sort of like been provided. Like, yeah, unironically, Pam Bondi is a map defender. Like, unironically.
Pipeline, man discovering his fire, his sense of worth, his masculinity. The alt-left pipeline, groomers. Because everyone knows the leftists went after kids. You should be thankful that you're in the alt-right pipeline, okay? If you've got a leftist coming up to you and being like, alt-right pipeline detected, just be like, thank you for making it, actually. Thanks for...
This is so fucking stupid. Like, this guy has just provided zero fucking arguments in his, like, I don't know, like, LARPy, super professionally produced, I don't know, documentary talking about his, like, takedown of the fucking wokey left, the weird woke tards. And this has just been, like, again, a bunch of claims are being made here, but there has been... like, I'm like, listen, Boy Meets Mini Alex, I'm like looking around for any evidence for the fucking claims, and I have not been seeing any fucking evidence for anything that's been presented whatsoever. He's just been saying a bunch of stuff for the past 17 minutes without providing any sort of like evidence or proof to back us stuff up. But when I say have claims, I tend to fucking back it up with some fucking sources. I tend to back it up with some fucking sources. This guy, nothing whatsoever.
For making it, and hey, at least I'm leaving the side that has maps on it. The leftist pipeline enabled disgusting individuals the ability to get close to children while exercising their fetishes.
Like who?
Male feminists almost always have something to hide or something they're trying to atone for. So what have we learned here today?
Like who? Like, who exactly? Like, maybe I could provide some kind of... I don't know, like, maybe some kind of fucking evidence or whatsoever, but, like, who is doing this? What male feminists? Do you have any names? Do you have anything to back up any of your claims? Anything whatsoever. So far, it's been a big goose egg.
Who made the alt-right pipeline? Leftists did. They made it.
Stupid.
It was a necessity. Of course it was going to be made. In the face of such tyranny, of course, it was going to be made. And why are they so threatened by the alt-right pipeline? It's because...
Yeah, dude, and not the current tyranny of the people currently in power right now who are using your tax dollars to just bomb people randomly all across the planet. And that's not fucking tyranny. But nah, it's actually the alt-lefters who are sending all the people into the alt-right pipeline. They're the real they're actually the real tyrannical individuals.
Because whenever men discover their own sense of self-worth, that usually doesn't pan out too well for those who try to invade white men's countries. But no, it's a misnomer. The real name for the alt-right pipeline is the red pill, because the red pill is actually what they're afraid of. Men waking up, becoming aware, rediscovering what it means to be a man, how it feels to be one, the responsibilities we have as one. And yeah, it's tough. And yeah, you're gonna get the most insanely difficult to decipher gaslighting thrown at you by these very vindictive women who want to maintain their sense of...
See, this is the consistency with a lot of these quote-unquote red pillars. It's all about hatred of women, right? It's very fucking Freudian. It's very psychosexual. It very often pertains to their mothers, more often than not. Like, who? I don't know. Like, all I have to ask you, Jake, is who hurt you? Like, that's the only question. Listen, I'm a brother asking another brother, who hurt you? Who caused you this pain? Why do you have this vitriol within your heart? I'm just curious. Like, why?
Immaturity, I guess. They don't want to be held responsible. They don't want to fulfill their responsibilities to society, because the first thing women did when they were given all of this freedom was to shed themselves of any and all responsibility whatsoever. As far as I know, the essential...
What are you fucking talking about? What shed themselves of responsibility? What, do you think women just like sit around on welfare? Like, what the fuck is this like talking point from like the 1980s? What, you think they sit around on like food stamps and welfare, collecting their checks, having their steak dinners with like 6 different kids or something? What are you talking about? They work, they contribute to society and the economy, and they're able to do that on their own now. Like, what are you saying? Like, yeah, has that contributed to the quote-unquote male loneliness epidemic? Because now women feel like they have the freedom to be able to pursue a career on their own and are able to have, like, some form of, like, societal success on their own and not have to rely on a man more and more so? Because, again, this is why this guy has, like, this weird psychosexual obsession with a hatred of women. It's purely because of the 1974 Act that gave the women the ability to be able to open up credit cards in their name and bank accounts under their name, thus making it such that they have the ability to participate within the workforce by themselves and would not need to rely on their husbands in order to be able to participate within the workforce. That's purely what it is. I forget the name of the act. I'm really bad with names. It's irrelevant. Whatever. That's the main problem that this fucking jabroni has in particular. So instead of, I don't know, like, doing any basic research, like 30 seconds of fucking Googling, he'd rather to have this, like, strained psychosexual projection onto all of women and talk about how these lascivious whores with the ability to be able to make decisions for themselves. We might as well repeal the 19th Amendment or some fucking bullshit in order to be able to make sure that they stay back in the home because none of them like me and I just want women to fucking like me. That's like literally all I want. I'm so sad and alone and angry and upset. And that's why he basically says all the stupid shit that he says right now about fucking women. Like, that's literally it.
Fields of vocations are still very much male, like waste management, energy management, construction, these kinds of things. It's still all dudes. Women with their feminism and their infinite ability to choose exactly what they wanted to do decided not to do these things, and instead decided to go do white-collar jobs that require them to be doing Zoom calls 8 or 9 times a day. For what? I don't know. I don't think even they know.
Are you okay? Whoa, you're okay. That's a choice that's been made by men because of dumbasses like you basically saying that it is worthless for people to be able to participate within college. That's something that you have basically caused, not women. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, the broader sort of general anti-intellectualism that you're spewing here is part of the reason for as to why men do not participate within college as much anymore. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's silly, stupid.
No, the alt-right pipeline is a misnomer, as a straw man representation of men rediscovering what it means to be a man. When man sees that his country is being taken, his culture is being destroyed, and his race is being replaced, and that women and communists are...
Race is being replaced. It shouldn't be really surprising, because that's well, let's be honest here. The biggest reason for as to why the quote-unquote alt-right pipeline exists, it's all great replacement theory shit. All the little black stick figures are coming in to replace the white ones, when that's just not a thing that's happening. It's nonsense. It's fucking stupid. And these people want to do like the exact same like idiotic fucking conspiracy theories every single time, saying, oh, it's all the women and communists who are currently in power. We'll take a look at any of the amount of men that are currently in power right now. Well, the current party that's in power right now, which is mostly male dominated. But sure, whatever. It's all women and fucking communists that are replacing all the white men or something, and making it such that men don't want to participate in in universities in order to get better paying white collar fucking jobs, and it's more women who are doing those sort of jobs right now. But whatever, who gives a shit about any of that stuff? We're just gonna spin up a ridiculous, idiotic conspiracy theory based off of my own, like, strange psychosexual fucking problems that I should basically go see a therapist for. Honestly, Jake, I think you should probably just go see a fucking therapist. I don't know. Talk about with like your mother with your therapist. I mean, you seem to be projecting a lot of like very strange insecurities onto everybody else with like the dreck that you're putting out here.
Or behind it all, they realize that discovering the red pill, going through this pipeline, coming to this realization and rediscovering your sense of self-worth as a man is a threat to their entire system of control. Why else would they so systemically disenfranchise?
I don't know. These guys, typically speaking, seem really desperate to want to be able to get in the pants of women. There's a reason why a lot of like MAGA red-pilled individuals are not very successful in the current dating market.
Specific demographic. We've all learned that the alt-left pipeline is far more of an artificial construct designed to destroy the West and indoctrinate the foolish to be useful and complicit.
Doesn't it, like, to say that there's an alt-left pipeline is it's just nonsense. It's just a thing that doesn't fucking exist. Like, to necessitate there to be an alt-left pipeline, it would need to have a united front looking to push a form of, like, left ideology to indoctrinate a bunch of fucking people. And if you know anything about leftists, they fight with each other all the fucking goddamn time. Like, again, it's silly. It's nonsense. There is no fucking alt-left pipeline. It's stupid. Not in the same way that there can be an alt-right pipeline, which has a very simple goal that is very simple and easy to sort of talk about and say to people. And even then, like, these people will constantly fight with each other. Not as much as, say, leftists do. But even then, like nowadays, more so than ever, a lot of these people are fighting with one another. But that's mostly because Donald Trump is dying, and he was the main glue holding the whole sort of right-leaning movement together. And with his death, it's kind of just going to a whole inherently sort of like fall apart, right? And to say that there's an alt-left pipeline when there's not really like that many leftists in positions of power or whatever in comparison to that of the right, who adopt a lot of these same like social media tactics and far right sort of rhetoric from social media, is just silly. It's nonsensical. Like, this is just stupid.
To that end, the alt-right pipeline is a natural response to having your face stamped on by a boot for your whole life, and the alt-left pipeline is designed to make idiots put...
Again, this is like operating under the assumption that there was an alt-left pipeline before the advent of social media. Like, the alt-right pipeline came into existence because of social media. It just wasn't a thing that existed. Like, it's silly. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense because this guy is just spewing a bunch of fucking nonsense into the ether.
On that boot. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
This video was fucking dog shit, and this guy has no idea about any of the internet history that he's talking about. And he just, like, randomly jumbles together a bunch of talking points that he has heard of, and probably the media he sort of, like, surrounds himself in, and the videos that he generally sort of engages in order to, like, I don't know, create this amalgam of a video to talk about the epic debunking of the alt-right pipeline, when he just all he did was just say a bunch of things, made a bunch of claims, and provided basically no evidence for any of his positions whatsoever. Like, again, I ask you these questions. What evidence do you have for any of your claims? Have you provided proof for any of your claims? Like, anything. Yeah, like, if anything, he did confirm that there is an alt-right pipeline, and this dumbass is a part of it. Whoa, crazy. Like, your debunking of the alt-right pipeline just basically showed you. I mean, you yourself make it very clear and have said that you are just an alt-right like nationalist, making it very clear what you are, generally speaking. Like, you didn't accomplish anything that you just said. You just said a bunch of talking points that reaffirm to your audience that you're still one of the good ones, that you're one of the good Goths who's pushing back against the subculture, when in reality, like, Goth culture has always been inherently counterculture because of the, what? Satanic fucking panic, which I guess you fucking have to agree with now, despite being a Goth. It's silly, it's fucking nonsensical, it's stupid, but then again, we're talking about a dude who is a self-described alt-right nationalist who defended the fucking talked about the fucking Great Replacement theory and seems to be, a defender of the Great Replacement theory or some shit, and just says a bunch of like ridiculous nonsense. Like, it's silly, it's stupid, it's nonsensical, and bro provided absolutely no evidence for any of his claims. Like, he talked about like fucking teachers being a part of the alt-left pipeline when it's mostly like private Christian school teachers. Pride parades being dens of grooming because there's a bunch of naked people going around. I don't know, man. I'm seeing a bunch of images of people who are not naked. Like, they'll have their shirts off or something, but that's like literally it. And the ones where there are fucking kink, like say Folsom, they will say that it's an explicitly 18 plus event, right? There's only one image that these guys can point to that confirms that sort of position of like pride festivals being like this sort of like den of degeneracy, quote unquote, and it's just the one image of the dude in the fucking dog gimp suit, right? I know exactly what he's talking about, where some parent decided to bring their little kid to the Folsom Pride Parade, which is explicitly 18 plus in kink. They always are kink oriented, and they say that whenever they fucking advertise. At that point, that's the fault of the fucking parent, not the fault of the parade organizers themselves, who have basically said very, very clearly what it's all about. Stupid, it's silly, it's ridiculous. And also fucking drag queens are a part of this alt-left pipeline of fucking CSA, when, again, we've taken a look through all these. And this is just recent examples. 2025, Robert Morris, child CSA charges. Again, another guy, and this was also 2025. This being Joe Campbell, CSA charges. Another pastor, this time in Indiana. That one is this year, February 13th. Not even that fucking long ago. And here, another Long Island pastor, last year, 2025. This is recent stuff here. And I would love to see any fucking articles or evidence or proof that drag queens are these, I don't know, like, vectors for CSA, as you have fucking claimed. Maybe there's one or two fucking instances, but I can point to even more instances of weird, like, church pastors and even, like, drunken uncles and weird conservative teachers who are more likely to abuse kids. Because, again, like I've said before, conservatives do not believe in children as human beings. They do not think they have wills. They do not think they have the ability to make decisions for themselves. And that makes it such that they are more likely to want to have them be abused. There's also another factor in all of this, right? Not only is there child beauty pageants, which conservatives explicitly support, and also the desire to take away the ability to have child sexual education, right? Child sexual education is the best way to prevent, CSA, specifically. Because if a kid knows what happened to them, they're more likely to want to go to talk to an authority figure to get the help that they need to resolve the situation. But you don't seem to be supportive of any of that because you're like a dipshit conservative. Like, I don't know. Like, what else is there to really say besides, instead of, like, quote-unquote debunking the alt-right pipeline, you just basically made it such that, not really like a debunking of the alt-right pipeline, you basically made it such that you made yourself look like a clown. You just said a bunch of random bullshit and made some claims, provided no evidence, and made yourself look like a complete clown to anyone with like half a fucking brain cell. Making this video that's basically, I don't know, 10 years too late. Don't think there's really much else to say besides that.